All right. Here we go. So I am a fan of Spring.Academy. I'm going through some courses, and one of my character flaws is I have a hard time stopping before I get to production. So I made this. I've been working on this today. We've got some Terraform that's going to stand up in Azure Spring Apps Enterprise environment. And it gives me some of the cool things like application insights. So I basically get all of the tight integration with Spring that I want, and it's pretty easy. Sometimes the cloud infrastructure can be a little tricky, but also sometimes I just want to like play with things and be done. So you can see I stood this up before, but we're just going to stay it up again. So I'm going to do this. One of the nice things about Terraform, I'm going to just do this destroy, auto approve. I'll just go and get rid of it. This is in progress, right? This is what we do. So I'm just standing things up, and I'm not doing anything fancy. So we're going to wait. We'll see how long it takes. It's going to take a few minutes. And that's it. So we'll just hang out. Actually, we won't hang out. I'll show you what I'm going to do. So this is a guide. This guide has been around for a long time. Of course, I have an account. I do this. Maybe I use this one. Let's log in. Let's get at it. This one. Let's log in. And I'm going to show you what the lab looks like. So here's the thing. The lab stands up an environment for me to do the work. It's got a nice IDE, but sometimes, a lot of times, I want to take these things a little further. So this is super nice. I'm going to go ahead and use Maven. And yeah, the lab. But the cool thing is this lab is exactly the same lab that you're used to. If you've been doing Spring for a while and you've seen this in the RESTful web service, you've seen this guide. It's the same. Like we're doing the same thing. And those guides are available over here. Guides. We got our getting started guides, building a RESTful web service. Right? This is the exact same RESTful web service that we are doing here. It's the same guide, all the stuff. So what we're going to do a little bit different. Instead of doing the guide in Spring.Academy, I've already done this, right? It's in Spring.Academy. If you want to access it, when you play with it in Spring.Academy, you go to that infrastructure. Well, then you're kind of stuck, right? I want to do more. You can do stuff while you're in this browser and in this session, but I want to go more. I want to take it to production. I want to do more things. So here's what I'm going to do. Me, Thomas, thank you so much for joining. Oh, buddy, this is amazing. Hey, Jamin, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping in. We're playing with stuff. So I am deleting some previous infrastructure, but I'm pointing out here, we're going to grab this REST service. We're going to go to this repo, and we're just going to clone this, right? It's the same thing that we did inside of the guide. Let's do it this way. Take this simple guide in the window, and let's just clone it in here. So I'm grabbing the exact same guide. I'm just going into this guide. Easy peasy. We have the guide. In the guide, it has you can go through the steps. One of the things I like about the stuff that's in Spring.Academy is the to-dos. The to-dos. It uses the to-dos in order to like take you through the steps. I like that. But we're going to just kind of cheat. We've already done the guide. We're just trying to take it a little bit further. So I'm going to go in here to the completed one. And I'm going to see which version of Java I'm using. I'm using Java 21, and we should be good to go. So that's it. It's completed. MDNW, Spring, boot, run. Cool. Up and running. I can do this. And then let's just grab a new browser, window, and let's just show it off for a sec. Close 80, 80 reading. Fantastic. It works. Of course it works. So, did the demo, you did the guide, you're good. Now you want to go a bit further. You want to, do more stuff. So let's go back here. My Terraform deleted. This is going to take a little while to stand up, but the cool thing is that's it. So actually, let's go through those steps. So this is here. This is what's live. So I'm going to commit this, and we'll do it all together. So git status. Took some notes from earlier. And git first. We'll do this. Before I do that, we can do some cool stuff with Terraform. Let's say Terraform validate, make sure it's all good, and Terraform format. Good. And then we'll add fast. Cool. So now you can play along. Damon, yeah, we should probably chat sometime soon. I would like to do that. And yeah, I would love to catch up. It would be wonderful. Thomas, what is happening? Can't sleep after 1 a.m. and I have to wake up in a couple hours. I know that feeling. I'm actually in Seattle, so my clock is all off, but I can't sleep either. I got to get this stuff out. This stuff has been in my head. It's been on the backlog. I just want to get it out and share. And this is something you might be interested in. We're going to do this Terraform stuff. So I committed it. Now that's out here in the Spring office. You've got all the stuff. Although there's no secrets in there, it should be. And what are you going to do? I hope I put some steps in here. Let's validate those. We're going to do this. AZ login, use device code. Cool. AZ login, use device code. Let's log in to sign in. Go here, and we're going to take this. And yeah, you totally could have like copied that and then we'll figure it out. Well, what could go wrong, right? What could possibly go wrong? I want you to do this. I'm excited to show you this though. All right, so hey, we're good. We're signed in. Excellent. So I got some stuff. Now, let's go back here. And we've already cloned it. We just made this. This is what we're doing. This is what you're going to want to do. Terraform init upgrade. Just make sure that works. Fantastic. Then we're going to, just apply it. We're doing the quick start. Apply it. This is going to take several minutes. But that's okay. I want to do this. I want to have something that I can stand up. I want this infrastructure that I can stand up, I can play with, and then I can tear it down when I'm done. Just like I did. Destroy it. Terraform apply, Terraform destroy all day long. So this is going to take a while. So we can go back over here to our little guide. And this is what I'm saying. The whole point of this is I wanted some place where I could take this code, this guide that I've been working on, and I want to deploy it to Azure Spring Apps Enterprise, ASAE. And I think I can do that. Right now, I just got to wait for that form to apply. And this is going to take minutes. So I didn't really have anything planned. We're hanging out. Did you see? No, I did not see this. The Kamal Spring Boot article? No, I didn't. Why don't you shoot that over to me? Shoot it to me in Discord and take a look. I'm glad that you're here. Here's what's happening. There's tons of places to deploy Spring, and some places they're not all equal. Some places just feel better than others. So this is one. I've got my favorites, but I also like just getting stuff done and getting stuff to production. And this is one way. I'm realizing that I think my assumption is that there's a lot of developers that don't really care where their app's running. I think there's a lot of app owners, like business line owners that don't really care. They just want things up and running. And I think there's some value to be had for having flexibility on where your workloads are running. So I like to deploy to a lot of different places. So right now, we're going to deploy to Azure. We're in Azure Spring Apps Enterprise. Let's see if I can pull that up. Try to take a look there, Thomas. You know what? I don't have that installed here. I'll take a look here in a minute. While we're waiting for our ASAE to come up. It's minutes. What do you got going on in a couple hours there, Thomas? What are you working on? I want you to know that you are, I think you saw it. You saw it yesterday. You are in one of our decks when we talked about scaling to zero with Spring Boot. One of your quotes, one of your tweets is in there. So it's always nice. Like you're part of the story. I think you've seen that. This is going to take minutes. I don't know how many minutes it's going to take, but it's going to stand up all the stuff that I need. And the idea behind this repository is I just wanted to be able to Terraform apply, get something up, and then be able to go and take some example and run it in production and get the production things. So Azure Spring Apps Enterprise is Kubernetes under the covers. It's Tanzu application platform under the covers, Tanzu build service under the covers. It does a lot of really cool things for me. And again, I want my apps to be secure. I want them to be resilient. I want them to be able to stand up and tear down and scale up. And I want to have access to, the data. I want access to all the cool things that Spring gives me. So Azure Spring Apps Enterprise, I can do that easily. It doesn't, it's taking a couple of minutes. I get all the bells and whistles that Spring provides. Azure Spring Apps Enterprise hooks into it. And that's great. Oh, this is that's no good. Not fighting. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Not feeling the best. I'm sorry about that. I want you to have a full and fast recovery. I hope you get to feeling better. I really do. Wait, I don't have anything else. Didn't really have anything else planned. I'm going through, just like Thomas, just like you've done, I'm going through the Spring.Academy. I'm doing the stuff. Where do I go with my courses? I had a flight over here today. And it should say, look at that. I'm moving right along. 3%, it's better than zero. It was zero this morning. Oh, look at this. Java Developer Day on EclipseCon on Monday was cool. Right on. And it was in the hometown. Very nice. That's always nice. I went to DevOps KC last night and I presented. It was great. We had good questions. It was short. There wasn't a lot of there wasn't anything afterwards. So it was just like, come in, we showed some lightning talks, great talks, and got done. But it's one that you've already seen, just the whole upgrading with Open Rewrite, the value being on the latest and greatest. I could actually do that while I sit here. Because we're hanging out on, this is one that I do all the time, right? Let's make it a little bit bigger. You can see, because Jamie hasn't seen this. It's easy. I've made a few changes along the way. We're going to start with Java 8, but don't do this at home. We're going to start with Spring Boot 2.6, and we're going to do this web actuator thing, just a simple Hello World app, but we're using Java 2.6 or Java 8 and Spring Boot 2.6. I'm writing things out to the logs as part of the demo, and then I capture a few things. So it's up and running. Let's take a look at the health. It's healthy. Fantastic. We're doing the other stuff, Terraform in the background, 370.1, which is weird. We always get different numbers just depending on how fast I talk, how much work the rest of the computer's doing. So we stopped it. Again, I'm writing all this stuff out to logs. Now we're just going to run this Open Rewrite upgrade Spring Boot 3.1 is the recipe. it's going to go do all the things to upgrade from Spring Boot 2.6 to Spring Boot 3.1. That'll take a couple seconds. It upgrades from 2.6 to 2.7, to 3.0, to 3.1. And then you get to switch to Java 21. We're going to do some cool stuff. Now we're doing Java 21. I've got Spring Boot 3.1 because I ran the recipe. It upgraded. Look at that. Done and done. And it's still up and running. So my application works. After OpenRewrite recipe ran, it did its thing. It still works. And look at that. It's a little bit smaller footprint. Cool. We're done. Kill it. So now this is the thing that you can do since Spring Boot 3 is we can do the AOT processing. We do the AOT processing. So we're going to use crawl VM under the covers and we'll push. We'll get a smaller footprint. This is all well and good. Smaller footprint in the cloud. It's going to take some time. It's checking out all the different branches of the code. It'll throw some stuff away. It'll optimize it. It'll write it down. I'm on Darwin right now in ARM64, so I'm going to get it. Output is only going to work, but it's going to be native image, mostly native for Darwin in ARM64. Thomas, I submitted to Box Day Zurich today. My previous CFP for DevOps Bayfall were not accepted. That's why I submitted 2 talks. Double my chances. That's right. If you want me to review, read, help, I'd be happy to. I would be happy to. I saw the Box Day Zurich thing come through my email, but I did not apply. Did not send anything. I'm having a lot of fun going out and working with customers, people, and orgs that are using Spring. I'm having a lot of fun. So this took a minute to do, and we'll validate, hey, let's make sure it can work. It starts up faster. It's still Spring Boot 3.1.4, it still works. And now it's a whole lot smaller. So I stop that and I say, hey, look, here's what we saw. We did Spring Boot 2.6 with Java 8. It started up in 1.196 seconds, and it was 370. Then we just by upgrading, we just used the OpenRewrite plugin by upgrading to Spring Boot 3.1 and Java 21. We didn't change any of the code. Like it's the same application. It starts up a little bit faster, and it's got a smaller footprint. And then we took another step and we did the AOT processing. So there's no JVM involved. Now we run our demo application. It started even faster, right? This is, right around a second, and this is fraction of a second. And then the footprint, 78.9 megabytes, 21% of the original footprint. 78.9 is 21% of the original footprint. That's pretty amazing. Even before that, we were 65%. So those numbers are just the savings. If you are running Spring Boot 2.6 in Java 8 in production today, you're leaving money on the table. That's all. That's all that demo is. And that's the demo that I show at the time. But I can take it further than that. Let's see. Question, is there a tool to analyze startup time for boot apps? See what part takes how long? Dr. Sire did a lot of work on this. Started a few years ago. When we were taking some heat for how long things started up, but that's because we're doing a lot of extra work, making sure that things can connect. We've taken a lot of work. The Spring team has put a lot of work into making that startup time faster. But Dr. Sire has some insights that he's got some blogs on what he did to analyze what parts were taking so long. But yeah, that's a good question. It's just that right now, it's never really an issue because we're doing this, right? And I showed you, or I told you a story about, they're not all going to start out like this. It depends on what you're doing, right? It depends on how long it takes for you to get healthy, etc. And we also talked about Project Crack, coordinate, restore, at checkpoint. So you got tons of options. The startup time problem isn't really a problem when you've got options like native images and Project Crack. So it's a good question. We should probably dig in, but how much are you trying to squeeze out of these kinds of startup times, I guess, is the better question. So if there's a problem, definitely let's take a look. but I don't know of a tool off the top of my head that'll help me figure that out. And absolutely, teamwork makes the dream work. We will get it taken care of. So let's go back and look at our Terraform. Terraform is still running. That's okay. We've been doing other stuff. One thing I want to do here is I want to go and take this one step further. I'm going to do this. I'm going to initialize this repo. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to say git add. Just add everything, that's fine. I'll do this. I'm going to say, I want to talk about one thing. I'm going to just change this value from 3.1.4 to 3.1.3. And now I'm going to do this. Git add dot git commit 1.3. Okay. Now, the one thing I want you to think about is, in my demo is over here, so you can play along. And there's one line in here that it's the one that matters. And I want you to think about this one line. So let's just say I made a commit. And let's say some path to production. Oops. I've got some path to production here, right? Where I do git commit. And then over here, I've got production. Let's say I have some decision in here. Some part of my path to production has a little hook that says, you know what? Are you upgraded to the latest? What would that look like? Let's say my path to production, it just runs that recipe. Create a new branch or not, just run the recipe against that repo. So I'm saying, hey, I did a git commit like I already did. And then somewhere along the line, I've got something that says, hey, are you doing it? And then I just do a git diff. I see, uh-oh, I've got a decision, right? This is something that probably not hard to imagine, where you have some automation that says, hey, are you on the latest and greatest? And then you get to decide, right? Depending on your process, your culture, you get to decide whether or not you want to just like commit it, like do the upgrade and get commit from here, or create a PR and push it back, or just be like, oh, you're not on the latest greatest. Sorry, you're gated here and you can't go any further. But this idea of how we can keep our software current keeps on coming up. And I think it's more and more important these days. So yeah, just that's another thing that I've been thinking a lot about lately. Powerful stuff. Still going. No big deal. We're just hanging out. So this says, yeah, I currently struggle with a normal single module. It is really fast, but with a multi-module, just rebuild the application with hot reload takes 20 to 30 seconds. Interesting. Are you using Spring Modulith by any chance? That's it. Is this something that we can take a look at together? If you're interested. I'd be happy to. We'll figure it out. Because you watched yesterday's show. You were on yesterday's show, I think. With Ollie. If not, check it out. It was fun. Spring office hours. Yeah, we're waiting. I don't have anything else I'm really working on. Actually, I do. I don't even know why I said that. Start Spring. I want to run through an example. 3.2.0 RC comes out tomorrow. So hopefully all of your stuff is update the latest and greatest, so you can start taking out the release candidates. I'm going to do a quick little demo here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to check some stuff. Of course, I'm going to use containers. I feel like I should use REST docs. I don't know if I'll be able to fit that in the amount of time I have tomorrow. I'm just going to use actuator. And yeah, I'm going to do the growing stuff. And because you're talking about the hot reload, let's do the dev tools. Wasn't going to do that, but is there anything else that I wanted to show as I think about some of the work I need to do tomorrow? Not sure. But I'm going to generate this. We're just going to call it demo. Replace it. And again, what I'm doing here really is I'm waiting for this Terraform to be done. We're going to validate that, kind of doing it live. But in the meantime, we're going to check out some other stuff. So I just created a demo zip. So I'm going to do this, remove whole demo folder, zip, demo, cd demo. And I've got these, I got the Spring Shell helper. Let's pull that up. You know what I'm talking about? GitHub.com. Initializer++, right? I went here and I did start.Spring.io to build my project, but there's steps that I take after I build my project that, yeah, bring those conventions to all of my workflows. So Initializer++ seemed like a good name. So inside of this, let's show this. Git init. Git commit initialized. Cool. Add negative commit. Cool. So one of the things I like to do is, let's do this. We'll do this. I change the project description. The Spring Shell gives me this like cool, fill in the blanks, just like you'd expect with a good shell. I changed the project version. And these are just my conventions. So if I want to plug in, I want to land on my platform, just like this other gate, right? I got to do some things to play nice. I want to be a good consumer, but give me the automation, give me the tools. Something like this, something like Initializer that allow me to do that. We've talked about app accelerators a lot. Having app accelerators to specify to do these kind of things. Get it so that when you can initialize a project, take it to production, you can do these things out of the box. Also do project name. I add some extensions to my project so that I can tag it. I can set the version based on the tag that's already in GitHub, so I don't have to do any extra versioning and tagging of projects. The other thing is the multi builder, because I'm on RC4. Let's jump over to that. Let's see. I have to ask, what? It says I have to ask my new company, but the migration of Modulith I'm fighting hard for and is already on the roadmap. Right on. Fantastic. I really feel like I'm going to revisit some old examples, some old patterns that I've done, and I want to convert them and do them with Spring Modulith. So hopefully I'll have some of that under my belt real soon. Icon says, I would not call this a podcast. Did I say podcast somewhere? Yeah, you and I, we need to talk about doing the podcast. Thanks for stopping in. I'm in Seattle. Seattle today and tomorrow, and then I'll be in San Francisco. So I'm out. I'm kind of preparing for some other events and stuff that are going on, doing all the spring stuff. Look at this. Everybody's jumping in. Hello. I'm glad you're here. And yeah, big smiles. Long time. Hang out for a little bit. Let's see. Thomas says, I learned today that you can't just generate files into the generated sources dir, and you instead have to use the Java C filer, as otherwise they're not compiled. Wait a minute. I want to look at that too. You can't generate files in the generated sources dir? Yeah, you can. I don't know. What's the Java C filer? Yeah, I want to, that seems like an interesting thing that I want to pair on. I want to understand it. Because I feel like, and it's been a while since I've generated sources and had to do that dance, but I don't know anything about Java C filer. It's not ringing any bells. I just currently have to recreate the files again. Java C filer. Yeah, that doesn't sound awesome. I did all my conventions. I think that's all of them. I can do this initializer out. There's management. Sometimes I do that. Nope, I'm not doing that. I don't need to do that right now. Yeah, like I got these things like, hey, I want to add these plugins, like the Spring format plugin. I don't always do that. No, that's not part of the convention yet. But yeah, those are those cool things. The thing that I wanted to do here was BNW. I want to do Spring build image. I wanted to kind of show the difference. We'll see if this works. Oh, I'm not running Docker. Let's do that. Let's go check on our. This is really taking a long time. I swear I didn't take this on before. And I'm wondering. I'm not wondering. I know. Different times of day, different clouds have different speeds. And yeah, maybe it's just busy. I'm hitting against US Central. So normally I'm closer to US Central. Right now I'm in West Coast. So that could be something that's causing it to take a little bit longer. But I feel like I did this earlier today already and it wasn't, it didn't take that long. So let's go back here to this other example. Docker running now, and I should be able to build an image. And if I'm containerizing workloads, oh, I didn't show you what my initializing did. But if I'm containerizing workloads and that's the artifact that I'm doing, there's some things to consider what's happening here. Is it not up and running yet? As a execution default, CLI, goal, blah, 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 image failed, Docker API call here, Docker, just trying to build a tiny failed, 500 internal service error, head registry, manifest tiny, get, blah, blah, blah. Context deadline exceeded. First, let me do this get diff. Oh, because it reformatted everything. That was lame. So this is what it used to look like. And then after I make my changes, this is what it looks like. The version is 0. My project name has the group ID, artifact ID. And then at the bottom, I added my multi-architecture builder because I'm on ARM64. And yeah, that's what I did. So let's try this again. Why is it not building the image? Hey Thomas, yeah, get some sleep. Good luck, and let's set up a Zoom for anybody that's watching and interested. Have Calendly, this little button right here. You can go and grab some time on my calendar and we can jump on a Zoom and we can talk about stuff. Let's take some stuff to production. All right, so now it's pulling down this builder. If I was on ARM60 or x86 AMD 64, this image would actually just be pulling down Paketo build packs builder tiny because of the way it's set up. It's just got a different tag so that I don't care where my application is being deployed to, if it's ARM64 or x86, I'm just going to use the same builder. It's a multi-architecture builder. Now, cool thing is, yesterday at GitHub, Paketo build packs, the pipeline builder, check this out. Anthony is showing stuff off. Look at this, add support for ARM64 archives. Anthony put in updated information for the pipelines so we can have ARM64 releases, which is super fantastic. Wait, where's the diff? Cool. So I'm excited about this. Just one step closer to having multi-architecture support upstream in build packs. Because here's the thing, I've been supporting this one for a while. We did a search on GitHub, and it made me feel pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I went over here and I said GitHub search for /builder using these builders, and there's quite a few repositories that are referencing this thing, which is awesome, right? Oliver, Ollie, doing the stuff like made me feel happy that it's getting used, and then that's like some of the evidence, and then over here, it's got 9.5 thousand downloads. That's exciting. There's been other, it's been called other things over time. So there's other versions of that, but it's been around for a while and it's gotten used. And that makes me happy. But I'd much rather have it be upstream with the good folks over at Paketo. They do a good job. So what I've done here is, you can see here, I actually include the architecture in the image name, so I can do things like the multi-architecture manifest. So when I'm building my applications, I can actually build them so that where you deploy it. If I deploy it on ARM64, it'll grab the ARM64 version. It'll grab this version. If I deploy it on x86, it'll get the x86 version. Fantastic, right? We can do that. It's not that hard. But the thing I wanted to show, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do git status. Git 0. Sure. Then we do this. What am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to do this git tag 0.0.1. And then this time I'm going to rebuild it. I'm going to do the native version. So just by selecting this native profile and doing the exact same thing, Spring Boot, build image. Let it do its native image thing. That'll go. It's already got the build pack, so you shouldn't have to download everything again. And it'll run its tests, of course. Ooh, and I should jump right in. It says, hey, we got it. It's going to do these things. It says, hey, I see I'm using Java 21. So it's building a Java 21 native image. This is cool. This just got released yesterday. So it's got the latest version of the Belsoft Liberica build pack. While that's working, let's jump back over and check on our Terraform. All right, Terraform. This is the original reason I wanted to jump on the stream, is because, hey, I want to do this stuff. So Terraform is up and running. What does that mean? That means I have this Terraform list of apps. So in my Terraform output, I just put some like helpful little tips here. So you have the resource group name, and then this is how you get the logs. This is the command, the AZ command that you would run to get the logs, but you don't know the name of it until after you deploy it. So the name is always going to change because I use a random string so that everybody can play with it, and there's no resource group collisions, naming collisions. So by doing it this way, Terraform output and just getting the raw value of that list apps, it's just going to grab the command that I need to run. It's going to run it. Cool. So now there's the app. This Terraform, and when you deploy this Terraform, you get a demo app. So it's up and running. So it's got its URL. Here's my demo app, and I'm good. Now that's really all I want to show. But the cool thing here is I can go over here. I can refresh. I got a resource group. Notice that resource group name is in here in the name on purpose. But then I can go in and I get all the beautiful insights, hooks, bells, all the stuff. So I can see my application. I can do all of the amazing metrics and I can dig in. So here's the point. I made this repository, this one, because I want to do really interesting things. A lot of the things that I learn from Spring.Academy, right? All their guides and stuff. So I set up this repository so I can do Terraform, so I can stand it up, and then I can deploy things like these guides. So I'm doing two things. I'm a little scatterbrained. It's tired. This build is going. So let's jump back over. I checked out the guide. This is the code from the guide. So where am I? I can do this. I can jump here in my Terraform output. It's also got a deploy. One of these things here, it says build deploy, and then it looks for a source path. So let's do this. Do this. I'm gonna go here, and I think, no, I can't do it from here. I'll do this. I'm gonna copy that command here. I'm gonna copy this command, this build deploy. Zoink, zoink. It's got all the values that I need. And I'm gonna bring that over here. And I'm gonna run that. And because I have, this is the completed version, I'm just gonna say source path .slash. Like, I'm not doing any build, I'm not doing anything. All the path to production, all the supply chain stuff is all happening inside of ASAE. I get all the benefits. So that's gonna take a while. But all I did was give it my code. I just, hey, go run it. Again, back to this picture. It's like, this is just the way that I want. I just want to be able to do a git commit, some pipeline, get myself up to production. So, and this is why I wanted to take these guides. It's me, it's my character, where I want to take it all the way to production. I want to feel and be able to touch and know that, hey, if I take this application and I run it in production, cool. I'm going to have an application and I'm going to be able to do analytics. I'm going to be able to treat it like it's in production. I didn't have to do anything else. I didn't have to set up a registry or anything. That's all taken care of with ASAE. So I like it. I'm happy. But that's it. I just want to do that. So I want to make sure that this is working because I've committed it. So it's out there. It's ready. You can take it for a spin. I'll do a write-up at some point. But yeah, I just wanted to validate, hey, this is working. I can just take any one of these guides from Spring.Academy and I can deploy them to ASAE. That's it. That's why I made it. That's what it's there for. And yeah, you should try it out. So far, maybe I can clean up my copy. Maybe I'll ask ChatGPT to clean it up for me. Right? Then yeah, we'll keep on going. I put some links. Spring.Academy, you should know that. You should know that if you've got questions or you run into something, you should come to springofficehours.io with me and my buddy Dan. And we'll talk about all the things. Right, Thomas? And then, yeah, I'm going to put a video. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to link to this video. That's all I'm going to do. Now I should probably do a better video. I'll do a simplified one after this. So that's our demo native image. So let's compare those. If I do Docker images type rep demo. So this is what I wanted to show. The first version, this version was deploying with a JVM. And it's 203 megabytes. So I like to draw this picture. Like when I'm doing this, the idea here is if this is my container, actually I'll do it this way. Right, normally at the bottom of your container, at some layer of your container is the operating system. And then you normally have a runtime, right? And in our first version of the container, the non-native one, that runtime is a JVM. And then you have your app bits. In this case, it's the jar. So this is one reason, it's this one is the reason that this image is larger than this. And this is a simple hello world app, but when you're building these native images, you get some other cool benefits, and that image size is one of those benefits, because this one, it's a native image, so it looks like this, similar but less. So that's why we have a smaller image, and that's it. I like to show that. Here's the other thing. So when I get to this point of like, hey, I'm doing stuff and I love Spring, one of the things that I found, one of the things that I struggled with was like, hey, I'm doing Spring and I found something. I found something that doesn't feel right. So I go over here to GitHub. And I go to Spring projects and I go to Spring Boot issues. And look, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I think I want to open an issue. And then I see, oh, there's 591 issues open. And I'm just, it's just being me, right? I had concerns, right? Some of these have been open, since 2014. I had concerns, like, if I open an issue, is it gonna get handled? The Spring team is amazing. They're gonna get to them. That's one of the best things. It's one of the best feelings. Even if I got an issue open and I got a comment on it, that made me feel great. I loved getting a comment, or even just knowing that somebody saw my concern was awesome. But there was a point in my career where it wasn't just me. I wasn't in a startup and I was concerned. I was maybe a little bit embarrassed, but I didn't know how to explain my issue without kind of giving away some of the secret sauce. I didn't want to give away maybe some of my competitive advantage because it was in a public repo and I was nervous. So for every issue that I opened, and I'm going to talk specifically about Spring, for every issue that I opened, there's probably 5 issues that I felt or ran into that I didn't open because I was a little bit nervous, because I was concerned about airing dirty laundry. So I didn't. And I didn't want to be exposed. The embarrassment part was, oh, I should know this. Or maybe this isn't a bug and I just don't understand what I'm doing. I definitely ran into that. And I get it. And I think there's a lot of developers out there that get that. So there's this thing we've got, the Spring.IO port. Like, we've got this thing called VMware Spring Runtime. VMware Spring Runtime, where you get support. So if you find an issue on something like Spring Boot, and maybe you're concerned, or maybe you have like a legit issue and you're not nervous and you don't have anything, but you don't want it to be pumped into this list of 591 and wait for it to get triaged. Maybe you need the 24/7 support. Either way, VMware Spring Runtime is pretty awesome. And I think that there's a lot of teams that would love to have something like this. and to be able to open up issues that weren't facing. I get it. I understand, because I felt that way. My bad. Like, I know that there's maybe not you, but there are others who have felt the same way. Yeah, I'll just leave that up. Our application, we've showed, hey, I'm building containers. Native containers are a little bit smaller. So if I'm sending it across the world, maybe like from Seattle to Taiwan, yeah, that's a long ways. And just speed matters. But also ingress, egress, depending on where you're sending it, that can matter too. Our application deployed. So we ran the application for our REST service. This is the one that's deploying to ASAE, running on our Terraform that we made. And now it's the ASAE greeting. It's the exact same app that we deployed here in our guide, or we deployed here using the Spring.Academy platform. It's awesome. But now this is mine. This is it's not running on another platform. This is running on my account, and I can do extra things, and I can take it to the next step. This is what I wanted to show. This is what I wanted to validate, and I'm feeling pretty good. I think what I'll do is I want to just redo this. I want to do just a shorter version of showing, like, hey, once you deploy, do the Terraform apply, deploy your infrastructure, and you can deploy these guides to ASAE, and it makes it pretty simple. So that's all I've got. I'm getting a little bit hungry, so I'm probably gonna call it good. After dinner, I'm gonna come and I'll do another video. So until then, I'm gonna go back. I don't need these things up and running. It's cool. It's the guide is there, but I don't need that guide on that dinner. I'm gonna do this Terraform. Boy, hello. I've learned some things today. Hopefully you've learned some things today. Maybe not from me, but somewhere. Hopefully you've learned some things today. I'm gonna shut this down. I will, go eat some dinner, and then I'll come back and I'll do this video again. I'll do a shorter version. I won't be so scatterbrained because I'll have food in my stomach. We'll do it again. So I'll let destroys. Thanks for joining. Oh, and yeah, just give me a minute. Like, my calendar. Oh, and I got a YouTube channel. You might be watching it now. Like, hit that button. And maybe I'll see you next time. Thanks.